Paula's sour cream topping, don't skip it. Don't skip it. It takes a few extra minutes, but it makes the cheesecake. And if you have some home canned fruit in your pantry, that is the perfect crown for your cheesecake. Hey everyone, we're doing Paula Deen's cheesecake from her cookbook, Lady and Son Savannah Country Cookbook. And her recipe has two parts to it. One, which is a traditional cheesecake, and then the second part, she puts a sour cream topping on the top and bakes it for another 10 minutes, and then you crown it with some delicious fruit. And today, y'all, we are going to be using some of my homemade cherry pie filling that I did last summer. So that's what's going on in our cheesecake tonight. Once you go home canned, you can't go back store-bought. Okay, so for this recipe, we're going to have 1 cup of graham crackers, a 1/4 cup of sugar, and 4 tablespoons of butter. And we are just going to mix all those up in this bowl, and we're going to press it into our spring form pan, and I've already got that lined with parchment paper, so here we go. So the oven's going to be at 350. We've got our 1 cup of graham crackers in here, 1/4 cup of sugar, and 4 tablespoons of melted butter. And we're just pressing this into this is a 9-inch springform pan. Paula says we're supposed to be using an 8-inch. So I won't have crust that goes up the sides. I think that'll be fine. All right, crust is done. We'll set that aside. Okay, now we're on to the filling. She's gonna use, Paula Deen is using 12 ounces of cream cheese instead of 2 blocks of cream cheese, 2 eggs, a cup of milk, and then 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. So we're just gonna go ahead and get all these mixed up here. Okay, so I've got that mixed. Pour that in here. So I misread the instructions. I say misread them, I didn't read the instructions. I just assumed that we were just dumping and going. And apparently I was supposed to cream the sugar, I was supposed to cream the eggs and the cream cheese together first and then add the sugar and then the vanilla. I didn't do that. I don't know if that's going to have any effect on how this turns out. But anyway, we've got it in our pan. And then we're going to put it in the oven, and we're baking it for 25 to 30 minutes at 350. So let's get it in the oven. Okay, first round of our cheesecake is done. Let that cool. Okay, that just completed 25 minutes of cooking, but this is the part that a lot of people probably skip. We're gonna let that cool for about 10 minutes, and in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the second layer, or third layer if you're thinking more of like the crust, the filling. This layer I'm talking about, and then we have fruit. So this will be the third layer that we're doing, but the second layer in the filling. We're gonna put that together and then we're gonna put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna do the sour cream topping, and this is one of the part of the recipe that I feel like gets skipped, or probably does get skipped, because you just throw fruit on the top and we're good to go. But here is why I think this is a pretty important step. I think we're gonna have like sour cream is gonna create that tanginess against the sweet, which we're gonna have like a sweet and tart type thing going on. We're gonna be mixing together 1 cup of sugar. Okay, we're mixing together, this was a half a cup of sugar, 1 cup of sour cream. Let me get my spoon. And then a half a teaspoon of vanilla. She says just combine this and then we're just gonna throw this on the top. Here's what we look like after coming out of the oven with our sour cream topping. It's just got like a little bit of a jiggle in there. I don't know if you can see that. Not liquidy. Looks good. We'll let this cool. I'm gonna let it cool to room temperature before I put fruit on it. But then we'll be putting my homemade cherry pie filling. Let's get this crown of cherries on our cheesecake. And here's why it works. 3 layers. Each one doing something different. The crust gives you the crunch. The cream cheese gives you the richness, the sour cream topping gives you that tang, and the cherries give you that bright, tart, fruitiness that's kind of cutting through all that richness. That's why that is specifically why this pairing works. Sweet, tart, tangy, creamy, it's balanced, and all I had to do was open a jar. Let's give it a try. It's good. I got the tang from the sour cream. It kind of brings out the cheese, the cream cheese taste, makes it really rich. And then I get the sweetness and tartness from the cherries. With just a hint of my graham cracker crust at the bottom. It's good. I'd say it's a winner. Let's get it on the table.